folks, welcome back to Sports Unfiltered on Versus. Our next guest is widely regarded. Well, how many sports can you really think about who's the absolute best coach? I guess you go to college hoops, you got John Wooden, the Wizard of Westwood. You go over to the NBA, you got Red Auerbach. You go to the National Hockey League, this man regarded as the finest coach in the history of professional hockey. He has won 9 Stanley Cups with 3 different teams. He knows his systems, now consultant with the Detroit Red Wings. Please welcome the great Scotty Bowman, ladies and gentlemen. Scotty. Hey, Scotty. You know, when I first became aware of you, I remember when I was a kid, I had a Sports Illustrated subscription, and they had a copy, an issue with the Red Baron on the cover, the great Red Berenson playing for the Blues. And you had a hell of a run that first year, didn't you?
We sure did. We got to the finals the first 3 years, actually, in St. Louis. So we had made a trade with the Rangers in November the first year. We got Red in a trade, and he became the real stone, the real stone that made our thing go in St. Louis.
Who was in the nets for you back then, Scott? I'm trying to remember. Who was in the nets for you? Glenn Hall, yeah, the great one. Glenn had a nervous stomach, didn't he? But he always stepped up and played well.
Yeah, he had a barn that he never used to go to training camp. He said he had to paint it, and after our first year, Dennis, the owner, and myself went out there to see him because we had to re-sign him. He had a farm, but he never had a barn, and he used that story for about 5 years to get out of training camp.
You know, Scotty, you always ran a tight ship as a coach. I think the players react well to that at some point. Maybe over the course of a decade it wears and you have to bring in an easy guy for a while. But by and large, I think these guys like discipline. I used to love the story of how you would find out if guys were coming in after curfew. Tell us that ploy you would use of putting the coach in the lobby.
Well, that was the 3rd year. We had a great team the first 2 years. The 3rd year we struggled. We were in about this time in the season in early December. We had a 2-game trip coming up. We played Detroit and Montreal. We got beat 5-0 against Detroit. It was an ordinary team, and somehow I wanted to make sure we had a curfew usually the night before the game, and that was I think it was a Thursday night. I took a stick home to the hotel. I got a hold of the bell captain. I said, I'd already warned the team. I said, we're going to have a check tonight. And I knew a couple of them wouldn't believe me. So I gave the bell captain, I said, you get autographs on this stick. I'll give you $10 an autograph. So he came through real big time, Dennis. He even put the time they came in. He got 6 autographs, cost me $60. The next day at practice, I leaned on the stick because we were going to Montreal to play 2 nights later. And I said, we had a lousy game last night, but I had a pretty good game. I turned $60 into $600. The 60 you were fined $100 each. So we went to Montreal, actually, and we won the next game.
Now, that's how you end up winning 9 cups. You get the guys to sign in and sign their own death warrant. Hey, listen, Scotty, I've seen Mario over the years, Wayne behind the net. I've never seen a player more in control of a hockey game than when Wayne would stand behind the net and do the air traffic controller thing. He was so poised in the moment. He saw the overview. I see some of that in this Crosby kid, right? Sidney in Pittsburgh. Tell us about him.
Oh, yeah, he's been tabbed since he was 14 or 15, Dennis. He doesn't have the luxury of Gretzky with so many good line mates right now. He's got a couple of young guys, but the thing that made Gretzky so great is Messier, Coffey, Curry, Anderson. They all came up, Kevin Lowe, they all came up at the same time. And Crosby, he's getting the teams are trying to watch him, but he's a great player. He's got a terrific character about him. He's one of the best representatives the National Hockey League has, and his team will be there. They came on last year. They struggled a bit at the beginning of the year, but he's just turned 20, and he's going to be I don't know if he can ever get any of Wayne's records because Wayne has so many records, and it's a different era right now, and he needs some better teammates. He'll get some, but he's a wonderful talent.
Yeah. Wayne, it's so funny. He did Saturday Night Live one night, and I remember I said to him, Wayne, the game seems so easy to you. What's the hardest part of it? And he said, my ankles hurt. And that just blew my mind that you would watch the great Gretzky out there. And he said that sometimes his ankles would hurt when he was playing. But when you look back on him, he really, I guess it was Gordy for a while there. People say Lemieux. But for an all-out, at-ease guy on the ice who looked like he never was flustered and knew exactly where to go every moment of the game, it was Wayne, right? He saw the big picture.
Well, even the year that he got his 215 points, the next player was about 140. So, when he scored his 92 goals, that's a league record. And, I think he's got like 2,800 points. And Mark Messier has like 1,800, and he had a Hall of Fame career all the way through. So he's got some numbers. I really don't think his numbers will ever be touched. It's a different game now. The Oilers he played on in the 80s, Dennis, they averaged 5 goals a game over the 80 games that they played schedule. And now we have a hard time getting 5 goals between the two teams.
Yeah, Grant had to love stepping between the pipes on a nightly basis for Edmonton, knowing that they were going to come out of the box with 5. That'll certainly lower your goals against just confidence-wise, right? Scotty,
well, they played
I'm sorry,
wide
go ahead.
open. You're right. They played wide open, Dennis. That's what they did, and they had the extreme confidence in Grant Fuhrer.
9 cups, Scotty. Break them down for me. What teams did you win them with? Or has it gotten so much like grandkids you can't even remember yourself? But
no, I left St. Louis, went to Montreal, and got a cup in '73. And then we had a terrific team for 4 straight years from 76, 77, 78, 79. The 76-77 team lost only 8 games out of 80 and won in the playoffs.
Wow.
And then I got a chance to go to Buffalo. I didn't win a cup in Buffalo. That's the one part of my career that I've been disappointed with. I was able to get to Pittsburgh and succeed the late Bob Johnson, and we won a cup there. We won 2 cups. He won the first one. I won the second one. And then I got a chance to go to Detroit, and that was a wonderful ending to my career. We won a cup in 97, 98, and 02, and I was one of the lucky coaches, Dennis. I won my last game. Coaches usually lose their last game and get fired.
Right. You're like Duke Wayne, though, baby. You won the last roundup and rode off into the sunset. You're looking good there, Scotty. You're looking healthy. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate your time. Scotty Bowman, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for this week's Vegas Fix with our super handicapper, Brandon Lang, right after this on Sports Unfiltered, ladies and gentlemen.